Yo, this is Ace Banton in SAT building, baby. You're watching SAT Telecom, that's the #1 choice. Boom!
Wherever the iron play, I'll be there. Wherever the steel band play, I'll be there. Anytime it's carnival, yo, festival, bacchanal, behind the big truck, down the road, everybody, they know that I'll be there. Yo, this is Mr. Challenge, you're watching SAT TV, the people's choice.
Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Shana Esprit, your presenter. In our top stories today, man rushed to Princess Margaret Hospital after car catches on fire. Labour threatens Labour, says St. Lucia opposition. Italy Indero, Marines travel to India for trial. And in sports, wacky rollers go in search of second victory. Details of these and other stories after the break.
SAT Telecoms. And I'm a my tutuni. Big up, one love.
It's only when we unite as one, then a lot more thing can be done. Stop this useless fight down, killing out your own brother, man. Time we rise and all realize we have an enemy in disguise, standing right in the mix of you. Got to know who is who. This is Derek Peters and you're watching SAT TV. That's what I have, SAT TV. SAT TV, that's the way to go. Rah! To the world. Ooh did he.
Thank you for staying with us. Minister of Caribbean Affairs, Mr. Ashton Grano, says over the last 3 years they have conducted 2 programs. The first program, the Housing Project, was funded by the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Mr. Grano noted approximately $3 million was spent on 41 housing units, which includes washroom facilities, 2 bedrooms, and a kitchen. He says 4 more houses were constructed from the funds allocated for the relocation of the people who were displaced during the construction of the Salibia Primary School.
So these houses were constructed and allocated to 41 families, well, let's say 45 families. You can well imagine the impact it would have created on the families who were previously not being housed in good condition. However, this has... Yes, 10 of those houses were sold to individuals with a salary. These would have been individuals who were working either they're public officers or they're employed in the private sector or elsewhere.
He added the reason these 27 houses will cost the same price as the first 47 houses is because of the duration of time. He stated there has been an increase in the cost of materials between the time that the funds were made available and the commencement of the construction.
We are only able to build about 27, it may be 28, 29. Previously it was envisaged that would have constructed about 30 plus houses with the money. So far we have already constructed 20. In fact, 10 of them out of the 20 have already been allocated to needy individuals. The other 10 are there ready for allocation, and we are going to construct another 7, and most of these will be constructed in the community of Crayfish River, because this is the only community in the Kalinago territory not to be touched yet by the housing revolution.
In regards to those who allegedly stated that they were not accommodated, Mr. Grano says the need for improvement in the Kalinago territory is high and the majority of people within the territory need improving housing conditions. He said an attempt is being made to construct an additional 27 houses under a program funded by the People's Republic of China. The associated cost is the same as the first housing program. Mr. Grano expressed that he cannot provide this type of intervention in one period, and he certainly cannot provide a 2-bedroom house for one individual when there are families of 4.
We definitely have to take it by phases. So I understand I looked at the Sun newspaper and there's this gentleman that he placed on there, which is one of our very strong supporters. Now, he lives all alone. So we have a template in the Ministry of Housing that will talk to providing housing for single people. Now, that is one of those we'll be looking at. There are 10 to 12 of our families that are like that, and we have already made a determination to see how many of them we can assist in this way. Clearly, the 2-bedroom houses which we have with washroom facility and so on could not be allocated to this gentleman. He lives alone. You well imagine that you cannot have him occupying a 2-bedroom house when you might have a large family, husband, wife with 4 children, and so on, or maybe elderly with some grandchildren that you need to allocate the houses to. So that's the reason why this particular gentleman was not given a house.
Mr. Grano assured individuals who fall in the same category that they will be assisted at some point this year. A loan is to be taken by the government of Dominica from the Caribbean Development Bank for construction of the second project, being a resource center within the Kalinago territory. This is under the Cairo Territory Community Capacity Building Project.
That is only one of the components of the project. This component, really, one of the physical components, is going to be constructed in Sensi, directly opposite the Salibia Primary School. We have not yet gone, the contractors, as a result, we're now in the bidding process. We had previously bidded, but the cost was too high, so we asked the potential bidders to go back and look at the cost, cut down, because we had to also cut back on the scope of work. So we've cut down on the size of the building. We have reduced some of the rooms, and we're waiting for the bidders now. So maybe 6 weeks from now, 2 months from now, we should maybe be able to go back to do the bidding again, and then present the contractors to CDB. CDB makes the final decision on who gets the contract.
In more news, Mayor of Roseau, His Worship Cecil Joseph, is urging residents of Roseau to ensure that they pay their land and house fees. The Roseau City Council has been trying to undertake this project for a long time due to residents not complying with payments.
A number of people complied and made arrangement in terms of payment. Some people did not comply. Those persons who have not complied, what we have since then done, we have taken their names to the court. The court has been dealing with the matters and giving them conditions for payment. That's where I never wanted to reach, but we have found ourselves reaching in that situation where we have taken a number of people to court, and some people still come to me making requests. I've said to them that the opportunity was given to them, and we really cannot waive the court's decision. I have to stand by the court's rule.
With that said, Mr. Joseph says persons who are in default of the City Council payments should make the necessary arrangements so the Council can receive the funds owed, or else they will be taken to court. He said this is not the route favored, but it is the way to deal with defaulters following failed negotiations. The mayor also said defaulters should save themselves the embarrassment of being taken to court for this matter and just pay up.
Once you talk about money, you're going to have a number of persons in arrears, but we always believe that communication is important, and people would have to communicate first. If they find themselves in arrears, and we would make some kind of arrangement as to how they make payment, and that is one of the things that we have found ourselves fighting with, battling with, people coming in to really make the necessary arrangement, and most times we have to really resort to the court, and the court is not to me, always the best way to solve problem in a small community, but that's where we can get our answers, that's where we can get our results, so we have no choice but to resort to the courts.
Mr. Joseph expressed his disbelief in mental slavery. He also noted the reasoning for consultation with defaulters before seeking legal action toward acquiring payments. Mr. Joseph says throughout 2013, he desires to see better communication between his office, the Roseau City Council, and the residents of Roseau, where all parties involved can voice their concerns.
I think it's an appropriate time that we now start to have some town hall, let the residents of the city hear some of our complaints. I know in the past that we have tried having town halls and they were not successful because people no longer like going to open forums and vent their opinion. People rather those days in the modern day call radio programs and vent their differences with organizations or with people. That's to me not the best way. It's always good to do it face to face, and we can see how genuine or feel how genuine that we are when we speak with each other.
Mr. Joseph added they will certainly try hosting town hall meetings this year to understand the concerns of the public and find ways of moving forward. He went on to say it is important that public figures dialogue with their constituents, as they are the ones who elected them, and as such should give them the satisfaction they deserve. In more news, one man was rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital as he was in a frantic state after witnessing his vehicle being destroyed by fire. This unfortunate incident occurred in the community of Citronet on Friday, March 22, 2013 at about 9 a.m. Eyewitnesses reported that Toyota car registration number PG290 was parked on the left-hand side of the road in a southerly direction opposite a shop when it suddenly caught fire. The owner, upon receiving information of the fire, ran to a nearby garage in an attempt to secure a pail of water to extinguish the flames, which proved futile. The fire department was called and it took some time to extinguish the blaze of the burning car. The fire was very intense and as a result completely destroyed the vehicle. Reports are that the owner of the vehicle, who lives in Kings Hill, was distraught and cried when he looked at what was left of his once operational motor vehicle. The incident caused a backlog of traffic and attracted a number of curious onlookers. In more stories, the Dominica Youth Business Trust is in a much better financial position to operate as they receive a significant cash donation on Friday, March 22, 2013. This was made possible as the CIBC First Caribbean Bank donated US $10,000 to the organization at the bank's office in Roseau. Ms. Ronald Lawrence, Business Support Officer, stated that the bank was proud to make this donation, which will aid in the growth and development of entrepreneurs on the island.
This is the second time that the bank is contributing to the Dominica Youth Business Trust, another way the bank is giving back to the community where it does its business. It is part of a Caribbean-wide campaign by CIBC First Caribbean to help develop the business skills of the Caribbean's youth. It is also the bank saying to the youth of the country that CIBC First Caribbean has confidence in your ability to make things happen in Dominica.
Ms. Lawrence noted the bank is pleased to know that young people of Dominica are not just dependent on government of the country or another business owner to employ them, but are developing the self-confidence and creating employment for themselves. This move, she said, aids the decrease in the high rate of unemployment in Dominica.
The grant of $10,000 or EC $27,000, we are certain will go a very long way in assisting the Dominica Youth Business Trust in its effort to assisting young entrepreneurs not only develop their businesses, but also to train them to be able to grow their products. Who knows, among their clients we may have another Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, or other famous businessman or woman. CIBC First Caribbean wish the Dominica Youth Business Trust the very best as it continues to work for the growth and development of the young entrepreneurs on the island and its clientele. The bank says, go for it.
She urged all aspiring entrepreneurs who are part of the Youth Business Trust to strive for excellence and let no one, including themselves, deter them from their endeavors. Ms. Lawrence says the bank will always be there to assist them once they are serious. She appealed to young persons to visit the bank with their business plans so they can assist. Ms. Cesarina Paul, coordinator of the Dominica Youth Business Trust, upon receiving the donation, expressed heartfelt gratitude to the bank for the kind gesture and stated it will go a long way for the young entrepreneurs in Dominica.
The Dominica Youth Business Trust continues to seek partner organizations and partnerships with people, not just locally, but regionally, internationally. And so it's really good that CIBC continues to see the importance of youth entrepreneurship in Dominica and how youth entrepreneurship can contribute to the economy of our country and also to the livelihood of our young people. This fund will definitely go a long way in contributing to our quest to develop more entrepreneurs and also to lend training and support to those who are already existing.
She also thanked the bank for keeping them in mind for this important donation. In more stories, the National Youth Choir of Antigua and Barbuda will present Seasons of Love at the Arawak House of Culture on Saturday, March 23, 2013. The most talked about show will begin at 8 p.m. sharp and tickets cost only $25. On Friday, March 22, 2013, a press conference was held at the Old Mill Cultural Center where Chief Cultural Officer Mr. Raymond Lawrence informed the public that the choir arrived in Dominica on Thursday, March 21st and will be here until Monday, March 25th. Mr. Lawrence says this is all in an effort to promote arts and culture within the region.
It's a very important effort again in regional integration because we are so close in the region. We share a similar culture and we are part of our mandate as Cultural Division is to help to promote not just the Dominican culture but as well the cultural experiences from the other islands and especially the CARICOM countries as well. So again, we are happy about helping to promote the National Youth Choir of Antigua and Barbuda, helping to promote the talents of the youth of the region here in Dominica.
Cultural Officer Ms. Pearl Christian says, although the Antigua and Barbuda Choir is 9 years old, it is relatively new. Ms. Christian added, unlike other youth choirs among the Caribbean, they present a diverse repertoire. For that reason, she added individuals can expect a very entertaining package of secular concert music.
Music from Broadway and play and pop music, also Caribbean pop and folk music. So it's a very varied repertoire. And like the choirs now, they do a lot of choreography, so that makes it gives it a different, that extra dimension of movement, nice visual impact. So I'm really hoping that people can come out and see this because it is going to be a very entertaining package at the Arawak House of Culture. The tickets are $25 a piece and they are on sale at the Old Mill Cultural Center, at Adams Brands Outlet, and at the Arawak House of Culture.
As a choir director herself, she is interested in seeing their song list as well as what they have to offer. Deputy Director of Culture in Antigua, Mr. Gilbert Loda, said the group consists of 37 young adults and is under the directorship of Miss Renee Smith.
Being part of the National Youth Choir is like our own job is to develop young-minded persons, and when we develop them, we find an avenue to exhibit them on stage. And we have been performing locally to many of the local functions in Antigua. The group have traveled to Suriname, they have traveled to Trinidad, and now in Dominica. And we came to Dominica as an ambassadorial trip, cultural trip, where we can exchange the Antigua culture into the Dominica culture and make it a fusion of culture that both countries can appreciate. Because it's, as you know, in the Caribbean, we share the very same culture.
These activities under the auspices of the Honorable Justina Charles, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports. In more stories, the Convent High School walked away as winners of the annual International Literacy Quiz Competition organized by the Rotary Club of Dominica on Thursday, March 21st, 2013. The competition was held at the Public Service Training Center, where 4 schools with 2 representatives each was quizzed in subjects such as mathematics, integrated science, and the social studies. The Northeast Comprehensive School was the second runner-up. Other participants in this competition were Pierre Charles Secondary School and Portsmouth Secondary.
And the objective of the Literacy Month is to highlight the importance of literacy in advancing human development and the national cohesion, while contributing to initiatives for international peace and understanding. Rotary International has always promoted literacy worldwide, and from that, the Rotary clubs at a national level is taking the mantle to continue promoting literacy within the island.
Mrs. Marvelyn Birmingham, president of the Rotary Club of Dominica, said every year the Rotary Club sets aside the month of March to focus on the importance of literacy and education in Dominica. She said the objective from this is to encourage students to read widely, to shape positive attitudes, and develop understanding and critical thinking.
As the quiz evolves, greater focus will be given to civics and personal responsibility. Now, as a Rotary Club, we must pay some attention to the concept of volunteerism. The Rotary Club motto, or Rotary motto of service above self, places volunteerism at the core of the existence of the organization.
Lime was one of the sponsors for this event and was represented by Ms. Ferdinand Frampton, Communications Manager. She expressed that the four main pillars of Lime are education, health, sports, and community. Ms. Frampton says they are always willing to assist in these facets. Ms. Frampton highlighted the prizes Lime will be awarding the participants and winners of the competition. Mr. Nicholas Goldberg, who works within the capacity of education and human resource development, had very inspiring comments on reading. He urged that students should not just be able to read by second grade, but reading to learn.
Making sure that children can read by the end of second grade will enable them to move from learning to read to reading to learn. And that's the really key point. Moving from that first step of knowing how to read and understand what it says to learning, using the reading to learn new things.
The winners walked away with 2 laptops from Lime and a free internet for 1 year. Deepex Color Lab, Jay's Bookstore, Astafans, and Digicel, among others, made this event more fruitful with their gifts and the prizes. And today marked the annual sporting activities hosted by the St. Mary's Primary School. Many excited and energetic young boys gathered today to participate in the events, each representing their houses by wearing their respective colors. Sir Lenny Walsh, the sports teacher, explained how the event was organized.
What is going on at SMP this afternoon?
Presently, it's our sports day, the final day of school. So we have activities engaging the boys for the day, 8 to 12.
How is it organized? I noticed that the kids are wearing different color shirts. How is it organized?
Yeah, when you come in, you are assigned to a house and get the color. The different houses are Arnold for green, Albert for blue, Clarence is yellow, Raphael white, and Borgia is red. So that's the way.
He highlighted the different types of activities, including sprints, ball throwing, 3-legged race, and a tug of war. Mr. Walsh said he allows the boys to participate in all types of sports. He is setting a foundation and preparing them for the next step, which is high school. Very often there is an unbalance when it comes to sports and academics. Mr. Walsh gave his opinion on this issue.
Well, I try and balance it. I tell the boys, sports go hand in hand with your academics, basically. So if you're not academically inclined, most likely you'll not be on the sports team. Whatever sport, basketball, football, cricket, whatever.
Wadsworth Charles, a member on the executive of Parent Teachers Association and a parent, was present today to show support to his son and the other students. He said it is very important for children to be able to have a balance when it comes to academics and sports, as this will enable them to be well-rounded and disciplined men in the future.
I think it's of vital importance that parents take an active part in their sons' lives because you see, when you don't see the parents participating, the sons feel left out because you have a few parents participating, and also too, the teachers need a lot of assistance in getting the boys organized because, as you can see, the boys are very rowdy. Anything is happening, they're coming about, and we really need to show them the correct way and be able to give them the correction when it's needed.
And in court news, Bernardo Rodriguez, who was charged with invalid license in relation to the Dominica Tourism Tour Guide Association case, was remanded until April 5th, 2013. Mr. Rodriguez was also charged for allegedly providing the wrong address. He pleaded guilty for the charge of invalid license and not guilty for the charge of allegedly providing a false address. Mr. Rodriguez is a Spanish citizen who has been living in Dominica for a period of time. It was stated that his work permit HDS expired, therefore, He was supposed to return to his country at the end of April 2013 when the tourist season came to an end. His case was adjourned on to April 2013. In more court news, Donaldson Popcorn's bail is now open after previously being charged with arson. His brother Danas Popcorn appeared at court today as surety with a document from the Tetmon Village Council indicating that Donaldson supposedly owned a portion of land. However, Magistrate Candia George said the document would not suffice. The first reason being, Danas Popcorn, the defendant's brother, has not completed the payment for the land, therefore, the document would not have been accepted. Secondly, a title needs to be attached to the document from the Carib Territory or Treasury. She added, same reason this document is not acceptable for the banks of Dominica, it is not acceptable for the court. He is remanded until a proper surety is provided. Bail is open in the sum of $20,000 because Popcorn committed an indictable offense.
This is Shana Esprit reporting with SAT Telecoms. Right now we are outside the Windsor Park Stadium where West Indies has just defeated Zimbabwe in 2.5 days.
I really enjoyed the game. I wish that it was the full 5 days, but I'm satisfied. I went to see Shane Shillingford make a really good name for himself and a name for Dominica. It happened. I'm so elated. I'm very, very comfortable with what happened in the park.
But I think Dominicans came out there to give support to the West Indies team. We just want to congratulate them as well, and congratulate Shane Shillingford on his record-breaking series and also winning Man of the Match series. It shows that we have a lot of talent in the region. We just have to develop it. Zimbabwe as well, I think people see them as the weakest opponent, but it is an opportunity for some of our players to get exposed and get back their form.
Very good, very entertaining, and what I would say happened much for the crowd and for the spectators. West Indies won the game, and that's very good.
It was fun, fantastic. I enjoy, and I just don't know what to say. Good, it was good, especially Shanda Paul and Shillingford.
Your two favorite players.
Who?
Your two favorite players?
All of them, girl. All of them. All of them. But it's West Indies. I'm true West Indies girl.
Because it finished prematurely, ahead of time.
So you're disappointed with the amount of days that it lasted?
Yes, I am disappointed. I enjoyed this. That is the first time I've seen a real test cricket match, live and direct. And I wish it would have gone until Sunday, because I have been enjoying it immensely.
The game finished a little too fast. They should leave a little time for entertainment.
Okay, so what are your views on West Indies winning the game? Aren't you happy that West Indies won the game?
Well, I agree. I'm happy because I'm a West Indian. But we should just still watching the game.
So you figure that it should have gone at least 3-4 days?
Yeah, but it's not West Indies' problem. That is Zimbabwe that week.
Very good.
And what about our very own Shane? Were you satisfied with his performance?
Oh, if I was close to him, I hug him. But I am not close to him. But I enjoyed it.
Well, my sister, we knew that Trinidadian spoke bad about Shane, so we came to support Shane, and guess what? We made history. I mean, and that is like, wow again.
And there you have it, Dominicans. We just got the views of patrons who voiced their opinions on the match between Zimbabwe and West Indies. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.